Cheers, bird. A large portion of the internet was down. Doesn't that make you just feel warm inside and hot? Let's get into it. Skip it up and that up. It is amazing how fast news changes. And I've had stories like this come across my desk, but I just don't. By the time I get to them, it changes just like this did. So that's why I don't end up making a news story. But I still think it's important to talk about because it shows how fragile our internet infrastructure is and how important it is to protect that and how frustrating it is that companies could just succumb to whether this was an attack or some kind of technical issue. We pay for these services. We pay a lot of money for these services, and outages of any other kind would not be acceptable from any other company. But on the internet, it kind of seems like it becomes the norm, and it's frustrating. Anyway, this comes from both PC Gamer and Yahoo.com. I'll read to you what the hell happened because it's changing at the speed of light, and then we will discuss. If you couldn't access online services, keyword is couldn't, not can't, access online services like Sony's PlayStation Network and Steam, as well as websites like Airbnb, you're not the only one. Starting at approximately 11:20 a.m. Eastern Time, Down Detector began logging a spike in outage reports across a variety of online services and websites. Outside of PSN and Steam, some of the most notable platforms people can't seem to connect to include LastPass, TikTok, and UPS. Visiting the PlayStation Store and other affected websites, they came back with a DNS error. Now, the source of the problem was Akamai, who's one of the biggest internet providers in the world. And at the time, they said they were working on a fix for this issue. And apparently now it's fixed. This update, just like I said to you, it just happened. It went from the internet, a big chunk of the internet throughout the world being down, to being fixed from when I got the article to when I went to hit record on my camera. And this is the update they have on Twitter. Akamai is experiencing a service disruption. We are actively investigating the issue and will provide an update in 30 minutes. Later, we have implemented a fix for this issue, and based on current observations, the service is resuming normal operations. We will continue to monitor to ensure that the impact has been fully mitigated. Now, keep in mind, I think I mentioned this, but just to double check, it affected PSN, it affected Steam, it affected the Epic Game Store. And it wasn't, like I said, just gaming. It was UPS as well, a whole bunch of services, TikTok. So this was a major problem, and it just kind of shows how frail and fragile the internet is. And we need to be really, really concerned about this because everybody, it doesn't matter what your business is, depends on the internet for something. I'm not just talking about entertainment or gaming or just watching stupid videos. I'm talking about, like, you need a shipment, or you need to fill a prescription, or whatever the case may be. There's many, many important, you need to file documents to purchase a home, or the list goes on and on and on. The internet this is in our pocket. This is part of our daily lives. It's not just something that's a new novelty anymore like it was in the early to mid 90s where it's like, you've got mail. Wow, I got this electronic mail thing. It's so cool. These services need to do something to make the internet more reliable. And we have to make sure that if there's any kind of cyber attacks, I hate using that term because I sound like a boomer, but it's what they are. We have to protect our internet infrastructure. People's lives depend on it. People's livelihoods depend on it. It's no longer just this cool, exciting thing and a way to interact with people. It's changed our lives and has become a necessary component of virtually everyone's life. And it's not acceptable when this happens because how much money that may cost people and how important the internet is something that we need to really address. And these outages cannot happen anymore. It's unacceptable, and it needs, because imagine even if it was like once every 3 months that your lights went out for the entire day. We're working on it. Actually, I lived in a place that was kind of like that. That's why we moved. We're working on it. We're working, and people would lose their minds. Or imagine your car once every 3 months just wouldn't turn on. And they're like, oh, we know that's an issue with let's pick a car, the BMW 3 Series. We'll work on it and get it up and running again. Don't worry, we're gonna force through a patch that'll make your car run again. People would lose their apps. They would lose their shit. I said shit. There you go. I swore once in a YouTube video. I'm getting edgy again. So the fact that it's accepted here is inexcusable. And it's dangerous. It's flat out dangerous. And we need to do something to protect the internet because literally at this point, livelihoods and lives are at stake. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.